Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today and shop NissanUSA.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the Ribeye Steakhouse burgers now at Jack in the Box. Back here in Atlanta, these two teams played a thriller last night. Fitting of the top two teams in the National League, separated by mere percentage points. Dodgers have played 2 additional games. They've got 1 more win, but they've got 1 more loss. 30-19, first team in the National League to reach 30 wins on the season. Well, the Braves, by percentage points, have the best record. Sitting right behind them, Arizona, game and a half back, 3rd best record in the National League. Mookie leads off for Dave Roberts, and then Freddie Freeman. 12-game hitting streak for Freeman, included a 3-run home run last night. Will Smith catches and bats 3rd. Max Muncy's at 3rd, hitting cleanup. 4-hit game last night for J.D. Martinez, which included 2 home runs. He bats 5th. Jason Hayward's in the lineup for the first time, back where he began his major league career, and back in his home state. In left field, David Peralta, quietly he's put together an 11-game on-base streak. The rookie Outman in center, and Miguel Rojas coming off a 2-hit game, bats 9th and starts at short. This is Spencer Strider, 24 years old, out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Made his debut at the end of 2021. Last season, he began the year in the bullpen, didn't move into the rotation until the end of May. By the end of the year, he had racked up 200 strikeouts, faster than any pitcher in the history of baseball, and proved that it's no flash in the pan. He's #1 in the majors this year in strikeouts. He's #1 in the majors in average against.
The Dodgers do strike out quite a bit. They're in the bottom half of the National League as far as number of strikeouts. They'll try and put this in play, but the Dodgers are very good at hitting the elevated fastball. Now, Strider, with his high velocity, will elevate the fastball about 50% of the time. So that's a pitch the Dodgers will try and pick on. He's legitimately a 2-pitch pitcher. I know we see the changeup right there on the graphic, but really it's about 95% either fastball or slider.
He says, I don't want to throw additional pitches just for the sake of throwing them. And in his words, worse pitches get hit. So why would I throw them? And we take a look at the AT&T Fiber fast pitch. Hardest throwers across the majors this season. Hunter Green leads all pitchers. The next 2 guys, Bautista and Fujinami, are relievers. And then it's Spencer Strider, although tonight he's not even going to be the hardest throwing starter in the building.
Bobby Miller on the other side for the Dodgers. He's probably going to touch 100. Strider right now, that average fastball 97. And we know it's not just velocity that gets big league hitters out. It's also location, but it's also deception. And as this outing goes on for Strider, we'll talk a lot about his release point and what he does to be deceptive with a relatively straight fastball.
Dodgers saw him last season. He fired 6 scoreless innings in June. And got a no decision. They came back and won that game in extras. Off we go with a fastball strike on Mookie Betts, who's got a .976 on base plus slugging in the month of May. 1,000 puts you into MVP territory for the year. He pops this one foul, and it's 0-2. Reached in 10 consecutive games. Spark plug at the top of the lineup that's averaged 6 per game during this 17-6 run going back almost 1 month. And an 0-2 from Strider. Betts takes high, and it's 1-2. Now, Strider dominant in April, usually dominant, although not quite as sharp so far this month. His 1-2 pitch is a fastball that Betts gets around on and pulls 98 into the left field corner. Leadoff double, Mookie Betts. That's impressive.
Real impressive, but you know what? The hitters meeting tonight was probably about getting on top of waist high or above fastballs. That's where he's going to go to try and strike you out. Now, the slider is a huge swing and miss pitch, but you can't look for both, and you're going to have a consistent approach. Mookie with a great approach there.
And some subliminal messaging about who's coming up next there. You saw the numbers on Freddie Freeman, who had a huge game last night, his first game in Atlanta this year. Goes after the first pitch and moves Betts up to 3rd. Arcia scoops up the ground ball and throws him out. Boy, how nice would that be if the Dodgers could get the rookie Bobby Miller a run before he even takes the mound.
Will Smith responsible for that right now, but Freddie Freeman actually set the table and gave himself up, taking a fastball right away and making sure he hits it to the right side of the diamond.
You know, Smith, the one guy that had some success against Strider last June when they saw him. He went 2 for 3 with a double and takes upstairs ball 1. So Will obviously upset last night. The backswing from Marcell Ozuna got him. And in talking with Will after the game and finding out exactly what was behind all that, first thing is that it wasn't the first time that it happened. Ozuna had gotten him with a backswing last year. And the other thing is that Ozuna's gotten this reputation around the league where Will kind of felt like he was taking a stand for all the catchers across baseball. Said, look, I know his swing's long. He's not trying to do it. But you'd figure at some point you would make an adjustment. You keep on hitting dudes. This is back last April. And then again last night. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Smith.
Will is very deep in the box here and made a slight adjustment because he's facing Strider, who has high velocity. So we had a little hesitation there as Will's practice swing right there as the bat goes back. Hit the glove of Sean Murphy.
Slider grounded through the drawn in infield, and the Dodgers have a first inning run against Strider. Will Smith drives home Mookie Betts, and it's 1-0.
Very good team approach from the first 3 hitters of the Dodgers. That ball has a little cutting action on it, and it actually is his slider. His slider does not break a whole lot, but it is about 12 mile/h slower than his fastball.
Runner at first, 1 gone for Muncy, who swings at the first pitch and hammers the ball foul into the second deck but wide of the pole. All right, how about these couple numbers the Dodgers just turned on their head? Will Smith just had a base hit against a slider, which the league is hitting 127 against. Mookie Betts had a double with 2 strikes. When Strider gets to 2 strikes, opponents were hitting 125 and striking out 2/3 of the time.
There's 2 2-strike hits. So yeah, the Dodgers are used to scoring with 2 outs, but right here it's more about 2 strikes. And nice job from Freddie Freeman moving Betts over to third, pulling that infield in, which raises a batting average of a guy at the plate about 100-150 points.
Strider's 0-2. Muncy pops it back and out of play. Dodgers the top offense in the National League this year, and just about any way you split it, they're one of the best. Whether that's 2 outs or first inning or comeback offense. Last night they scored 8 runs on 12 hits. They had 3 home runs last night, and that comeback win, which qualifies, I think, as one of the probably 3 or 4 best wins of the year, given the circumstances coming off of the St. Louis series, the early deficit. Muncy down swinging. There is a rare changeup.
Throw it about 5 times every 100 pitches, and at 90, it'd be like a few people's fastball.
You're speaking of yourself?
I really can't compare generations, Joe.
No.
I don't want to go there.
JD Martinez coming off a big game. 4 hits, including 2 home runs last night. And Dave Roberts said this is the best he's seen JD look in a Dodger uniform. All the parts syncing up. The couple weeks that he missed with a back issue. 10 games since returning. 4 home runs and 12 driven in. Slider for a strike, 1-1.
Well, he pulls the first one, but you know you're really locked in from the second swing that goes over the right center wall, backspinning it and leveraging it to right field. That's what a right-handed hitter like JD Martinez is looking for.
Lines this one down the right field line, fading, foul.
That's not late. That's the right approach when you know he has the slider that's 12 mile an hour slower. So like Freddie Freeman, when we see him against hard throwers, especially left-handed hard throws, fouling the ball on the fastball down the line of the opposite field and then being able to be on the breaking ball.
Chase a slider that ends the inning. The Dodgers take advantage of the leadoff double from Mookie Betts. Will Smith drives him in, and they give Bobby Miller a 1-0 lead as he gets ready for his big league debut. Test for Bobby Miller to make his debut against Acuna, Olsen, and Murphy. Then Riley Rosario and Albies. Marcell Ozuna hot lately. Orlando Arcia having the best season of his career. And in center field, Sam Hilliard. So here he is, the top prospect in the Dodgers system among pitchers, 24 years old, originally from McHenry, Illinois, and tonight Orel makes his major league debut.
He's definitely excited, his family excited in the stands, and a guy who can touch 100, the adrenaline in this first inning, he's got to really get it together and get it in the strike zone, but I don't think velocity is going to be a problem with the excitement.
Ronald Acuna there to greet him. And Bobby Miller's first pitch in the major leagues is a 100-mile-per-hour fastball pulled in the ground to Max Muncy. One pitch, one out. Deep breath.
For sure. Any butterflies, any nerves settled a little bit right there.
And for as long as he plays and for as long as he lives, they're going to ask him about his first game in the big leagues, and he'll be able to tell them, Ronald Acuna, Hall of Famer perhaps, was the first batter that I faced. I threw it as hard as I could, and he grounded out. Matt Olson with one away. Takes 100 again, strike one.
Every year after his retirement, it will get weaker and weaker as that ground ball went to third.
Yeah, the contact?
Yeah. It'll start out as a bullet right at Muncy. It'll end up like a 7-hopper.
And by the time he's like 80, he will have thrown at 107. 107 on that first pitch. He's ahead 0-2. Miller comes back home. Now a check swing and a slider, and it's 1-2. Now in his final start in AAA, where he went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run on 2 hits. He averaged 99.5 with the fastball, and he hit 100 19 times. His 1-2 to Olson, very high, 100 again, 2-2. Now it's 100, but it doesn't have exceptional characteristics, so it doesn't always get a ton of swing and miss. It's a bouncing ball right side. Freeman over to backhand it. He feeds Miller, and 2 up and 2 down in this first inning. So that being said, while he may be able to bully minor league hitters at times, the thought is up here that off-speed stuff, the slider and the changeup, is really going to have to play a big role.
And what you're talking about with the characteristics is the illusion. Does it have an illusion that it maintains its height? Because the hitter's eye is expecting the ball to go down. Well, his does go down like a hitter expects because he doesn't have a severe spin rate.
2 gone in his first inning in the major leagues, and the catcher Sean Murphy cracks the first one past the diving Miguel Rojas for the first hit of the game. It's kicked around by Peralta for a moment, but he'll hang on with a 2-out single.
Do you really want to get to an off-speed pitch, a breaking ball like a slider or a curveball against him, or do you want to hit the first pitch that you see that's straight and firm? And that's what this Atlanta lineup is saying to Bobby Miller.
Dad living and dying with every pitch.
He was expecting a perfect game.
2 gone, and the hitter is Austin Riley. Strike 1. Riley above 400 over a 5-game hitting streak. Bit of a slow start this year when you consider the bar that he set for himself the last 2 seasons. Getting it going lately, though. Slider to the corner, and it's 0-2. That's a slider that works like a cutter.
Yeah, it was interesting because the first pitch was 86 and had a little bend to it. It might have been a changeup that he pulled. It might have been a curveball that was super hard. That last one was definitely a slider.
And that is definitely a fastball. Banged into the gap in left center field. Up against the wall. Murphy heads for third. He heads home. Here comes the relay. Rojas to the plate. His throw off the glove of Smith. Into third goes Riley. And we're tied at 1.
Big leaguers can time a bullet, and that's where the off-speed stuff is important to land. And so when we've seen the Braves swing at the fastball, they've been able to square it up, but they haven't picked up on the off-speed stuff yet. That relay from Rojas was very close, very deep in left center. That distance out there to left center compared to left field was the reason they didn't get him at the plate.
So both offenses getting a run against these hard throwers in the first inning, and Eddie Rosario takes a ball. Well, Eddie Rosario doesn't care how hard Bobby Miller throws or how good the secondary stuff is. He only cares that he plays for the Dodgers, and that means Rosario probably sees him well. The #1 hitter in baseball against the Dodgers the last 3 years. Last night hit his 5th home run and drove in his 14th run in 12 games against the Dodgers the last 3 seasons.
An attempt at 2 off-speed pitches to start him out, as much as he can turn a fastball around.
Fouls it off, 2-1. MVP against the Dodgers for his efforts in 2021 in the National League Championship Series. Fouls it off, 2-2.
It looks like we've got a fastball around 100, a slider around 90, a changeup around 86, 88, and a curveball that's the slowest of all those pitches.
Bouncing ball, the backs Freeman up. He'll take it himself and just barely beat Rosario to the bag. Atlanta gets 1 against Miller in his first inning in the big leagues. Tied at 1. On to the second. Not much has been made of Freddie Freeman's return to Atlanta, but another homecoming here. Jason Heyward, who was drafted 14th overall by the Braves in 2007, made that debut we've talked about before that you're seeing the highlight of right there. And his first swing in the major leagues, hit a home run, and spent his first 5 years in the big leagues with the Braves. No better season than that rookie year when he was an all-star and had the second highest on-base percentage ever for a 20-year-old rookie, trailing only Ted Williams. Leads off this second for LA against Spencer Strider, whose first pitch is a fastball lifted in the air right field. Acuna looking at this one, and it sails gone, just like he did to begin his career in Atlanta. On the first swing in his return, he launches a homer. Jason Heyward again proves that baseball is a flat circle and things just keep coming around.
Well, he gets on top of a high heater in the first 8 pitches of the game. Strider threw all fastballs, but when they started showing that they're going to catch up to it a little bit and sit on it, the last 10 pitches of the first inning, he only threw 3 fastballs. Well, here he starts this inning with a heater. Jason turns that around. We might see some more mix from the mound the rest of this inning.
5th home run for Heyward. And speaking of, there is a slider first pitch to David Peralta. First one in a few weeks for Heyward. And so both guys in their returns to Atlanta go deep. Freeman last night, Heyward today. The Jason 4 for his last 7, 3 extra base hits. After he'd gone into a bit of a slide the last few weeks. One and 2. Now for Strider, Oral, he'd given up 2 home runs over his first 8 starts of the year. He gave up 2 to Adolis Garcia last start. He gives up another one here. He gets Peralta swinging his 3rd punch out.
So far with these 2 starting pitchers, we know the velocity's there, but we also know both teams are ready for the gas. So who's going to land their breaking ball and which team is going to chase the breaking ball or off-speed stuff?
On paper, this is a very tough matchup for James Outman. High fastballs have been his kryptonite. And that is what Spencer Strider does better than anybody. Ball 1 strike. Outman 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk, but a key defensive play, diving straight forward to save a run. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bobby Miller in his inning sequencing could have been a few more breaking balls, but he gave up the run because of a poorly located fastball. They wanted a fastball up. He ended up throwing it down. So you can second guess the pitch selection, but you would first talk about the location of the pitch they called.
Got him with a high fastball. 4 straight outs via the K.
Strider didn't miss his spot there. 98 with excellent location.
Now 90 strikeouts this year to lead the major leagues. 2 up, 2 down after the homer, and here is Miguel Rojas. He sure made his impact on that game last night with his defense and with 2 hits. The hit in 5 games in a row.
You will see his spray chart be wide like that because he's such a situational hitter.
Jam shot, right side, that's booted by Olson. Keeping the door open for Mookie Betts to come up here with a man on.
When you make an error with your glove, they call it a boot, but this is a legitimate one when he ends up kicking this ball over in foul territory.
A little bit jarring to see from a 2-time Gold Glover over there. Betts started the game with a double, scored the Dodgers' first run. First pitch slider here after he turned around a 98-mile-per-hour fastball for that double.
Strider's fastball made headlines through April, where the league only hit 155 off it. But in May, the league has hit over 300 against it. And tonight, Dodgers 2 for 4 on it.
Pitch that's been described as a unicorn. Obviously has the velocity. There's the deception in his delivery. There's the conviction he throws it with. You put all those things together, and not too many pitches like that. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back sliders, 0-2. Kyle Schwarber said that it looks like a ping pong ball.
It's a low release point with great spin rate and carry with unbelievable extension for a guy who's only 6 foot tall.
Something that he's designed intentionally, knowing that that could produce the best version of his fastball. His 0-2 is very high, almost takes off Murphy's glove.
Well, he's got the quads of like a 300-pound, 6'5" guy.
So they call him Quadzilla.
Exactly.
It's the other thing he did when he was coming back from Tommy John. He couldn't work his upper body, so he just sat there in isometric holds all day. Created those legs. Betts takes a little bit low. Count evens 2-2.
The boos coming from the upper deck couldn't see that what you saw at home, that that ball was just slightly low. And what an unbelievable take by Mookie Betts.
On 2-2, Betts takes ball 3. Heavy dose of sliders from Strider this time. Freddie Freeman waits on deck. And he began with a home run from Hayward. It's continued with the error on Olson. Rojas will run. There it goes. Here it comes. Betts fouls it off. We'll do it again. Aaron Bates, hitting coach, comes over, shares congratulations with Hayward. Another 3-2 coming from Spencer Strider to Mookie Betts, and it's ball 4 to get Freddie Freeman to the plate. First walk drawn by the Dodgers. Frustrating little stretch here from Strider, who thought that he was out of the inning with the grounder that he induced against Rojas. Instead, 2 on with 2 out, and Freddie Freeman comes up, hitting .458 over a 12-game hitting streak. Ball 1.
There are days and nights in the big league game where everyday players are looking for something to be inspired by and really get up for the game. Dave Roberts, the manager, is looking for that kind of stuff. This guy on the mound gets your full attention no matter when he pitches.
This is a wild pitch. 2nd and 3rd for Freeman. It's funny you say that. Miguel Rojas, after having that little tweak to his leg last night, Dave Roberts pulled him in this morning and said, hey, you know, why don't we give you a day? Just make sure that leg's good. And Rojas said, I want to play against the best. So the fact that Strider was the guy, sometimes it goes the other way, like, maybe I'm not feeling so good today, Skip. I got Spencer Strider flu. Yep. It was the other way around. He wanted to be in there, and this entire lineup geared up to face one of the best in the league. First base now open. They put Freeman on, picking their poison to face Will Smith. Dodgers, the top grand slam hitting team in baseball this season. After they had 2 last year, they've got 6 this year.
Well, you're a home run hitting team. They hit 3 last night, which took them to #1 in the National League, 1 ahead of these Braves. And now with the home run by Hayward, yeah, if you hit a lot of home runs, you can do it when their bases loaded.
Smith pulls a base hit to left field, promptly taking advantage of the decision to walk Freddie Freeman. 2 runs in to score on a Smith double. He's knocked in 3 in the first 2 innings.
Well, Dodgers' success against the fastball with Strider has really changed how he's approaching the Dodger hitters. He's already thrown almost 50% sliders. Normally, he's throwing 2/3 fastballs at you and the other 1/3 sliders. But their success against the fastball, he's resorted to the slider, but that's what Will Smith hit.
4 straight 2-out base runners for the Dodgers. All these runs here unearned because of the 2-out error on Olson on a routine grounder. Muncy struck out his first time. There's Freeman at 3rd and Smith at 1st. Takes a change, 1-1.
Gavin Stone yesterday got supported by the offense after giving up 4 in the first. They came all the way back for him, and now the offense showing some support for Bobby Miller, the 2nd youngster to go in these back-to-back games.
How much of a difference does that make for a young pitcher, knowing they've got that support?
It makes a difference for every pitcher, but especially for the young pitcher making his major league debut. It's really going to help Will Smith behind the plate as far as pitch selection also.
Count evens 2-2.
You get in those 1-1 counts, those 2-1 counts as a youngster, but you have a lead. You have no trouble maybe pulling the trigger on the changeup when it's a hitter's count, or a breaking ball when it's a hitter's count. If it's a 0-0 game and you're not getting any support yet, you might default to a pitch that you have to throw for a strike, like a fastball.
Once he gets tied up by that slider, and that ends the inning. But the Dodgers get 3. They got one on the first pitch of the inning. Jason Hayward with his 5th home run as a Dodger. They've got a 4-1 lead on Spencer Strider and the Atlanta Braves. Dodgers 4, Braves 1, bottom 2. Bobby Miller goes back to work. If he and the Dodgers get 10 Ks today, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. Ozzie Albies starts the 2nd. That takes strike 1 from Miller.
Bobby showed these Braves almost every pitch that he has. Complete mix, fastball, curveball, slider, and change. 8 swings, but no misses yet. And what that tells you is you've got to mix your pitches and hit your spots. It's not completely about electric stuff at this level.
It's 2-1 on Albies. Strokes on the left, leadoff base at Albies. And the third hit for Atlanta.
Bobby looking for some swings and misses on the other side. The Dodgers ahead in the scoreboard, but as far as the swings and misses, Strider has 11.
Leadoff man aboard, Marcell Ozuna to the plate. After a 5 for 59 month of April, he's hitting .351 in May. And you see the numbers there in yellow during this hitting streak even better. Fouls off first pitch slider. So for Bobby Miller, drafted in the first round in 2020 out of Louisville. Of course, 2020 there was no minor league season, so he went to the alternate site, refined his delivery, refined his grips on his pitches, and debuted as a pro in 2021. Absolutely dominated. Had a 191 ERA, although in only 14 starts. Last year was mostly in Double-A, made it to Triple-A at the end of the year, and in one start struck out 14 in Oklahoma City. High fly ball to the left field corner for David Peralta. He's got it. One away. Now, last season included a special start for Bobby in the Futures game, the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium. Struck out the side in that one inning of work against the best prospects around the globe. And a few months before that, he pitched in the Freeway Series at Dodger Stadium and struck out Shohei Ohtani. So he's had little glimpses of the big stage, little flashes of it, but his first real big league game tonight. Orlando Arcia with 1 on and 1 out takes a little bit low. This is a strikeout of Ohtani on a triple digits fastball looking.
You can't get completely educated at the minor league level and how you're going to have to pitch at the big league level. You have to be exposed to these hitters and how they approach your stuff so that you can put the finishing touches on who you're going to be. You can overpower the guys in the minor leagues if you have this kind of stuff and tremendous ability, even as you're developing, because you get to A ball and all you need is velocity. You get to Double-A and maybe you need a little secondary pitch. You get to Triple-A, you need those things plus pretty good location. You get to the big leagues, now you really have to start refining who am I, the relationship between my pitches, and how am I learning from this and making adjustments to really hone in. So there's a learning curve to becoming an exceptional pitcher at this level, not just having exceptional stuff.
Does that learning happen after one start, or does it take an accumulation of several or a year?
It takes an accumulation, because you can have a bad outing as a youngster and it's because of nerves. You can have a bad outing as a youngster because nerves are fine. Poise was great, but I'm using the stuff I got guys out in Triple-A, but they ain't biting here. So there's all kinds of things that you're learning through the first 10 to 30 starts.
3-1 to Orlando Arcia. Lifted to right center field. Jason Hayward has beat on it. 2 away.
One of the biggest things you learn at this level is you're not good enough to pitch out of jams that you set the table on, either by loss of concentration, walking the leadoff hitter, not getting your breaking ball to the right spot in a 2-strike count. You hang it instead of bounce it. Well, at Triple-A and Double-A with this kind of stuff, you can make those kind of mistakes and you can lock back in concentration wise. You can lock back in with location and you just blow people away and get out of the inning. Well, that doesn't happen at this level.
Sam Hilliard drives the first pitch foul. Sam Hilliard's found new life with a new team. You may recognize him from his days in the division with the Colorado Rockies, where he hit .212 over parts of 4 years. They cut him loose. Atlanta picks him up. And he got an opportunity when Michael Harris was injured in April and has taken advantage of it. Tapping into some of that explosive talent that he flashed while he was in Colorado. Just never could harness consistently. And by now he's 29 years old. But getting another chance here with the Braves. And has always hit the Dodgers well, even when he was struggling in Colorado. Albies at first, 2 out, and an 0-2. Got him. First big league strikeout for Bobby Miller is of Sam Hilliard, and after the leadoff single from Albies in the second, he goes 1-2-3.
Sharp breaking ball, looks like a strike, stays in the strike zone, but finishes it. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with the Dodgers at the MLBshop.com.
JD Martinez opens the third for the Dodgers and fouls off Spencer Strider's first pitch. Martinez struck out his first time, one of the 5 through 2 innings for Strider, who has that unique fastball and is a unique guy throwing that fastball. He's 5'11", 180 pounds, but he's an ace, throwing close to 100. That doesn't add up to begin with. He's got that mustache. Anybody with a mustache like that, they probably march to the beat of their own drum a little bit.
That or they're in a barbershop quartet.
Yeah. Strikes out Martinez very quickly.
But he gave a reason for the mustache.
He says a beard makes his face look too round. So he's had the mustache since he was in high school. One of the things that he did while he was coming back from Tommy John surgery was decide that he wanted to come up with a new diet. And so he quit eating meat because it made his body feel better and because it satisfied some of his ethical concerns. A ball on Hayward, who took him deep on the first pitch that he saw last time. And he's so obsessed with indie rock that he made his own album ranking system that he keeps updated in a Google Doc. As unconventional of an ace as you're going to find, Spencer Strider.
I watched the podcast where he was talking about his indie rock rating system. It was very interesting.
His 2-0 is down and in, ball 3. The number 99 that he wears is because his favorite movie is Major League. 99 for Rick Vaughn. Four-pitch walk to Hayward, who's reached both times. One on, one out, third inning. David Peralta comes up. Strikeout victim his first time. Fouls off, 96. A little bit of a rain falling. They're calling for it throughout the day. It rained for just a few minutes this afternoon, but not nearly as much rain as it looked like in the forecast.
Well, they never had the full tarp on the field today. The Dodgers elected not to hit on the field, but they came out and did defensive drills. Atlanta hit on the field.
Hayward a good lead. Strider's 1-1. Strike 2. Talked about it in St. Louis, but man, oh man, are they catching a break making this 3-city trip at this part of the calendar. St. Louis, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, the wrong time of year can be really sticky.
You like having Tampa Bay third if you were going through the sticky time like August or July, because at least you know you're going to be indoors in the third city. But you are so right about St. Louis and here in Atlanta.
Start sweating on your walk to your car.
Oh. Yeah, you don't need to use pine tar back in the day to have a sticky hand in Atlanta. Just go out there and try and dry your hand off with the rosin.
Another 1-2 pitch. Peralta fouls another. And when teams have had success against Spencer Strider, this is what it's looked like. They fouled off a bunch of pitches. They've run that pitch count up pretty quickly. Texas got 4 runs over 5 innings against them. They had the 2 home runs, but there were a bunch of long ABs too. And this is going to be the 7th pitch to Peralta. Fly ball, shallow center for Sam Hilliard. 2 out.
Well, Strider will challenge you. He throws almost more center cut fastballs than anybody in the big leagues, but the effectiveness of his center cut fastballs is way better than almost anybody in the big leagues. So he does have an illusion to that heater.
2 gone, 3rd inning. James Outman with a strikeout his first time. He's 4 for his last 32. One on one.
Speed him up, slow him down. That's what he did right there. And with the anxiety of Outman protecting against that high fastball, that pitch right there, they're trying to get him to bite on. They don't want to slow it down and throw it low to him unless they're going to take it out of the strike zone. If they're going to throw him a strike, it's going to be waist high and above.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And it's sent in the air. Right side and out of play. On 2-2, Outman takes ball 3. Picked there by Murphy.
Sure was. That's a changeup. Kind of a spiked changeup. Really never had a chance out of his hand to even look like a strike.
Hayward to get a head start from first. Olsen plays behind him. There he goes. Here it comes. Outman swings and misses, and down on strikes for the 2nd time. Strider's racked up 7 through 3. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr., where all your Charbroiled burger wishes come true.
The fastball tonight and the slider tonight from Bobby Miller. The speed differential. He's thrown 12 fastballs, 7 sliders. He's also thrown 7 changeups that have been outstanding, and those are around that same speed as the slider. So his ability to change speeds with the high-end fastball and then the slider and the changeup, that's really important.
Just the 1 run through 2 innings. Came on a double from Austin Riley in the 1st inning. Second look at Bobby Miller for the Braves. Ronald Acuna started him with a curveball. 1-0 on one of the top players in baseball, who was healthy again after tearing his ACL midway through 2021. Coming back last year, but in a diminished form. Fully healthy, fully explosive, and fully a blast to watch play baseball. On a 2-0 pitch, Acuna looks at ball 3. Four-pitch walk. First walk issued. And here's Olson. Olson grounded out his first time, looking for his first hit of this series at 0 for 5. And checking on Acuna, leads the majors in stolen bases with 18. He runs, got a good jump. Smith's throw, not in time, and steal number 19 for Acuna.
We're seeing this more and more across the big leagues, that after you pick off once, the runners are going on first move because they feel like psychologically you don't want to go back-to-back pickoffs, and all of a sudden you have none for the rest of the count. So after the first pickoff move, a lot of guys are taking the risk, and as soon as you flinch, they're gone.
Change fades away. Count evens 1-1 on Olson.
Gavin Stone with an elite change as he came to the big leagues, and last night he had it going. Bobby Miller's changeup tonight has been outstanding, even though not advertised as the #1 out pitch. It's been a good one.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Back-to-back changeups right there. Braves are 0 for 3 against that pitch.
Well, that had been Bobby's best secondary pitch for a long time. Sliders come along more through college and in his time as a pro, which he uses there. It's been nice to see him use the whole mix. He has 5 distinct pitches, and a lot of times you'll see a guy get to the major leagues and they say that he's got 5 pitches, but he'll lean on 1 or 2. He's using them all.
And both these starting pitchers have had to make some in-game adjustments of what they thought their foundational pitch was going to be. They both have gone to, my foundation tonight is I've got to mix my pitches, because both teams squared up their fastballs early.
But the Dodgers had 5 fastballs of triple digits from a starter over the first 49 games this year. Miller's already thrown 6. Dustin May had the first 5. 1-2 again. Olson takes ball 2. Was more of a sinker guy for a lot of his time in college, but some of the mechanical changes he made right after he was drafted made that force seem a little more effective. 2-2. Foul back. On edge and will be until he comes out of this game. 8th pitch to Olson is inside. Counts full.
If he can go 5 innings and the Dodgers are still ahead, they'll be on edge the rest of the game, just hoping that he can get his first big league win.
Yeah, great point.
Not a lot of poker faces in the stands.
On 3-2, Olson climbs the ladder after 100 and stays alive. Next pitch is number 10. Acuna's at second. Started the inning with a walk. Stole second base. On the 10th pitch, Olson down, swinging on a high fastball. Miller wins that battle, and Tracy loves it.
That's great location. The fastball is straight. It is high octane, but he still needs that location, and that's why he got that one by him.
It's like one of the two parents has to be the cooler of the two. It looks like Bob is going to play that role, and Tracy's going to let it all come out. It's a ball on Sean Murphy.
He's doing breathing exercises, and she's standing up and cheering.
A lot of times when your kid has a dream, it becomes your dream too. So for Tracy and Bob, seeing a fulfillment of one of theirs today. The 1-1 pitch. Off the hands, foul, 1-2. Murphy singled in the first inning, came in to score Atlanta's run and a 2-out double from Riley. That's it so far against Bobby Miller, the 20,350th major leaguer. It was 1-2, is fouled off.
Last inning we said he didn't have any swing and misses, but he's got 3 already, so he's finding a way to get by these Braves hitters. And here in a 2-strike count with 1 out, looking for another one. His first pickoff attempt, even though you've seen another one in this inning because the batter has changed and Acuna is now on second.
Miller fires. It bounces in there. Now a 2-2. Good take. And a nice changeup. Full count.
So close as far as getting the swing. This is a strike for a while, but it starts its bend in just early enough to keep them on the edge of their seats.
3-2 is grounded off around Washington. After he needed 10 pitches to get Olson, this would be the 8th to Murphy. Ground ball, diving stop by Max Muncy. Stands and throws right on target for out number 2. Some help from his defense. Up to third goes Acuna. 2 gone in the third.
This is one of the reasons that sometimes it's easier to pitch at the big league level than at the minor league level, because you get plays like this behind you.
Muncy stood up and heaved that baby. Trying to pitch around the leadoff walk. Acuna all the way to third now. And Austin Riley's coming up. Will Smith goes out there for a visit. It was Riley whose double brought home the first Braves run in the first inning. Extended his hitting streak to 6 games, close to 500 in that time for the heating up third baseman of the Braves. The 24-year-old Bobby Miller in his major league debut, pitching with a 4-1 lead. Top 2 teams in the National League tonight in Atlanta. First pitch, cracks one in the air. Center field, James Outman puts it away. They strand Acuna at third, and after 3, Bobby Miller and the Dodgers with a 4-1 lead.
On the next episode of Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Freddie Freeman and Jason Hayward share entertaining stories about their time coming up together in the Braves organization and discuss reuniting as teammates on the Dodgers. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers. That's June 2nd. June.
Wow. What are we, like a week away? A little over a week away?
We're getting there.
30 days has September, April, June, and November. So it's 31 in May. I think Thursday, a week from Thursday will be June 1st. Strike one on Miguel Rojas. Reached on an error which proved to be critical in the second inning. It was a 2-out error. Started a string of 4 consecutive 2-out base runners for the Dodgers, capped off by Will Smith's 2-run double. Dodgers got 1 in the first. They got 3 in that second inning. They're looking for their 18th win in their last 24 games.
You mentioned that Miggy wanted to play tonight to play against the best. And you can get an itis when all of a sudden you're facing a big-time ace. In the minor leagues, El Paso was that place for the Dodger organization when I was in it. El Paso elbow, they used to call it for pitchers. Guys would pull up lame when you go into El Paso.
Ball just flies like crazy.
Oh my gosh, flies like crazy and hotter than unbelievably hot. And it was a sideshow too. Like you'd give up a base hit up the middle, and they get on the loudspeaker and say, "Hey, diddle diddle, it's up the middle."
They do like play-by-play of
Acuna's
got it one away.
You know, they get a rally going, and second and third, 1 out, already scored 1 run. It's a green weenie rally, and they'd hold out a green weenie from the press box. Yep. Down the line and doing fine, that double. They would just rub it in.
Sounds like Bill Veeck was running the team.
Yeah, it was a great place to be an offensive player for the El Paso Diablos because they passed the hat if you hit a home run. So a guy named Brunansky, who played in the big leagues, had like 40 home runs one there, and he made so much money. He hit like 30 of them at home. And they passed that, and he'd get like $500.
The 1-0 to Mookie Betts is a strike. What do you mean pass the hat?
Pass the hat through the stands. They passed baseball hats through the stands, and fans would take out money out of their purse and out of their wallet and out of their pants and put it in the hat.
Take a collection.
And the hat would end up down in the dugout. Take a collection for the homer, for the guy who homered.
Wow.
Tom Brunansky played for the Minnesota Twins. He made a ton of money.
Not to be confused with Tom Emanski, who
No.
had the teaching tape.
Yeah.
The baseball cyborgs.
Yeah, exactly.
Count evens up on Betts, who has doubled and scored and walked and scored. Two from Strider. Full count. Benz went in there to get him. Buckled his knees, got his 8th K.
You're either looking for one or the other. It's hard to look for both against this guy, and so Mookie probably a little bit more concentrating on not letting him beat him with the high fastball, and so that slider drops in, and you just almost blink at it sometimes.
Freeman walked his first time and was put on intentionally his second time, leading to the Smith double. He takes ball 1 in the dirt. 7 games against Atlanta since coming to the Dodgers. Freeman is hitting .393 with 3 home runs. The 1-1. Pop up, shallow left. Arcia calls off Riley and ends a 1-2-3-4. First clean into the game for Spencer Strider.
Head to Dodger Stadium on May 30th for Julio Urias City Connect Jersey Night, presented by Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
And Bobby Miller's big league debut. He's got a 4-1 lead. Eddie Rosario leads off and takes ball 1. Urias' injury, along with Dustin May. We keep going down the list. Michael Grove, Ryan Pepio opening the door for Bobby Miller to reach the major leagues faster than it looked like he was going to. Especially when you consider that Bobby missed most of spring training with shoulder soreness. So there were some questions midway through spring training, like, how's Bobby doing? Where's he going to break camp? And the answers were, we don't really know. He's not doing a whole lot yet. It's 1-2 on Rosario. And then he finally gets going in AAA and gets shelled. He gave up 12 runs over his first 8 innings. That was over 3 starts. Lasted only 8 innings in his first 3 starts. Gave up those 12 runs. So he looked a mile from the major leagues even a little more than a week ago. It's a tapper to Muncy. Rosario can run, but Muncy gets it over there to get him. But then he fires that start, that well-timed start, giving up just 1 run over 6 innings last Wednesday. Without that, he's probably not here, because it'd be hard to call a guy up who had given up 12 runs in 8 innings, no matter how desperate and needing spots in the rotation in the majors. 1-0 for Albies. Strike 1 and a good change.
I was a little worried about his pitch count too, because it was taking 17, 18, 19 pitches in the minor leagues, kind of averaging per inning, and you wonder how the big league is going to treat this. Is he going to be at a 25 pitch innings on average? But he's doing a solid job tonight. The fastball command has been outstanding. He's thrown the fastball about 18 times and 17 strikes.
How about that sequence right there? Roll changeup, curveball, 100.
It works. You would think he would not need his secondary stuff when you throw 100, but the spin rate is a little different, where the hitters can pick up where it's probably going to end up.
Albies serves one into left center field. Peralta can't get there. Outman backs it up. Albies heads for second. Here comes Outman's throw. Not in time. And Ozzie Albies is 2 for 2.
Change up. It's a little bit up. Atlanta's gotten 3 hits on his fastball, but he has been pounding the zone with that. That changeup was the first hit they've gotten off of that type of pitch. David Peralta came up a little bit gimpy.
Four to 1 in the 4th. Ozuna fouls it straight back. Eloso.
Doesn't look like there's any residual from last night. No conversations with Will Smith.
You get him there?
Sounded like he got the front of his mask there just a little bit.
Boy, it's getting awkward.
No?
Oh, right there.
Right there. The recoil.
That Will's got to be so frustrated. Like, clean it up.
Ugh.
It's every swing around the world.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest follow-throughs I've seen in my complete time in baseball.
And again, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just starting to become frustrating for catchers around the league when they're getting hit by that long backswing.
Catchers will use the hitter's back elbow as if they can reach out and touch the back elbow, then they're too close. But if they just barely, just like would have to strain to get to that back elbow, then they're like, I'm the right distance. Well, with him, I think you need to be 6-8 inches farther back than that.
Well, also, this pitch gets by, ricochets all the way back into the diamond, Albies to third. How about the fact that he's so far back, he's outside the batter's box? That back foot is behind the back line of the batter's box.
Yeah, he's probably considered still in the box because he's touching the back outside there. But yeah, it is. The Dodgers have also made that hole that deep because of Strider, so they're probably letting both teams be in that same hole.
He's touching the chalk because the chalk has been moved 3 inches back there.
For sure. Back in the day, it was like the leadoff hitter's job to kind of get rid of that line before the big guys come up that want to go deeper in the box. "3-2 from Miller. Struck him out with the slider.
Third strikeout for Bobby Miller, and this one comes in a big spot with a runner at third and one out.
Rumor has it that guys like Bob Gibson and Don Drysdale would watch leadoff hitters do that and dig the hole outside the box and get it deeper and deeper. And he'd say, keep digging it from the mound. They would say, I'm going to bury you in it.
Wow.
They were the intimidating generation.
Arcia takes a strike. Bobby, a pretty intimidating guy himself. 6'5", 235 pounds. Imposing figure on the mound.
Well, Bobby Miller throws at the velocity of like a Nolan Ryan, right? And I made the mistake of trying to attempt a bunt on Nolan Ryan. And I had forgot the reputation. That one hurt. But the reputation of Nolan Ryan is if you tried to bunt on him, you're going to get the next one right at your noggin. And I did. So I wouldn't want Bobby Miller to be throwing it at anybody's head.
Number 70 at 70 pitches. Hope Will's okay. Ugh.
Oh. That's the amazing thing about offensive catchers. With all the bumps and bruises they get, they still hit the whole year. Johnny Bench, Mike Piazza, Roy Campanella, Will Smith.
Sean Murphy on the other side.
Sean Murphy.
Albies at third. 1-2 to Arcia. Fouls back 100. Season high is 76 when it comes to number of pitches for Bobby Miller. Another 1-2. Just outside, says Jim Wolf. Count evens up.
Jim Wolf had a brother, Randy Wolf, who pitched in the big leagues.
Pins and needles all night for Tracy and Bob.
They're going to be more tired than Bobby. I'm exhausted, Bobby, from watching you.
Another 2-2. It's a heck of a take there.
Some really good sliders. You know, you get backed into accounts. You throw in the fastball, can't get it by him. You're thinking you got him in swing mode, and you just want to walk him off the edge of the plate. And that's just some good takes.
Bobby's saying this is the 8-hitter. Man. 3-2. Bouncing ball to Max Muncy, who's been busy at the hot corner. Bobby Miller able to strand a man at third for the second time over the last couple innings. As we look at the T-Mobile coverage cam with the Dodgers in front 4-1 to the 5th inning. Will Smith the lead off this inning. He's knocked in 3 of the 4 runs. And again, Spencer Strider in his career now, Oil, he's 4 for 5. 2 doubles, 3 runs knocked in.
Will's always been able to cover the up fastball, the inside fastball, and that's a strength of Strider and the elite pitchers. Continues to do it, covers that one right there.
On the ground to Albies. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. Strider struck Muncy out both times. Max now 1 for his last 15 with 8 strikeouts. He's thrown him a lot of changeups.
Strider has thrown double already of the number of changeups he would normally throw. Over 11%. Normally he throws only about 5, so this Dodger lineup has forced him to go outside his norm.
Only his second full year in the major leagues. 4th round draft pick in 2020 out of Clemson, where he hardly pitched. Muncy lifts a fly ball to center field, playable for Sam Hilliard. The edge of the warning track, he's got it. 2 out. He was in the bullpen as a freshman at Clemson, which is obviously a national powerhouse, but he was a reliever as a freshman. And then Tommy John before his sophomore season. That's where he kind of redefined himself as a pitcher. Mentioned changed his diet. Came back for 4 games over his final 2 seasons because he missed a bunch of time with Tommy John. And then 2020, that season was canceled after a few weeks. Strike 1 on Martinez. That's when he was drafted in the 4th round. In his first year in pro ball, 2021, he started in A ball. He got promoted 4 times in that 1 year and made the majors at the end of the year. Quickly 0-2 on Martinez, who he's had in the palm of his hand tonight.
JD taking a moment here to regroup. Seen this around the big leagues now, guys getting to 2 strikes and using their timeout.
Taking 5. Dave Brubeck. Line drive center field, Sam Hilliard, and a quick inning. Just 7 pitches for Strider. Halfway home in a 4-1 game. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers as we welcome it back here to Atlanta. Bobby Miller on to the 5th inning in his major league debut. We're talking about him using all 5 pitches. How about this dispersal, the way he's gotten his outs?
A lot of outs, some long counts. 4 of those outs were with 3-2 counts, but in 3-2 counts, the Braves are 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. So backed into some places where he's got to throw a strike and still was effective.
Ball 1 on Sam Hilliard, who he struck out his first time. It's one of the 3 Ks for Miller here in his debut. Strike 1. After Hilliard, back to the top in Acuna. Yancy Almonte has begun to warm in the Dodger bullpen. And again for Miller, this is a new season high pitches thrown. Most he'd thrown was 76. This next one will be his 80th.
He really has gotten stronger as the outing has gone on. First time through the order, 1 swing and miss. Second time through the order, where we're finishing right here, 5 swings and misses.
Miller comes home and strikes him out. A fastball at 100 for his 4th K.
100, yes, but edgy again, and he's getting the swings and misses. He gets edgy. That one actually had a little tail to it, not actually straight. 2 outs away from qualifying for a first big league W.
Strike 1, a changeup that gets Acuna flailing. Ronald grounded the first pitch of the game to first, or to third, and then walked on 4 pitches. And here he's quickly behind 0-2.
He looks like a young man on the mound, knowing that he's got only 10 or 15 pitches left, and he is just finishing strong. Get me the ball and let me pump it in there. Coming around the final turn, eyeballing the finish line.
Home of the 1-2. Right where you want the high fastball. Just high enough.
Yep. Look like a strike long enough. End up in a place that's really hard to hit.
Another 1-2 pitch. Acuna takes a change low. 2-2.
Both off-speed pitches that they're trying to get him to fish at were just not out of the hand competitive. Good stuff. Not a strike long enough. There you go. This, the curveball. which you're getting him to flinch, which he did. He got him to recoil a little bit and reset the bat mid-flight of that pitch.
Another 2-2 pitch. Count goes full. Olsen waits on deck. Dodgers have a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. 8th pitch from Bobby Miller to Ronald Acuna is grounded weakly to short for Rojas. You had Acuna off balance and he gets in.
A slider. The other ones he was trying to throw the greatest one ever, whether it was the changeup or the breaking ball. You know what? You don't need to throw a great one when you throw 100. You just need to throw a good one, and that's what that was. Another full count. They're 0 for 5 when he backs himself into a corner.
2 up, 2 down in the 5th inning, and Olsen 0 for 2 today, fouls it off Will Smith. Are we just heightened to it because Will has had the concussion, or does it happen a lot to him?
I feel like he's taken Justin Turner's place on inside fastballs that we used to flinch when Justin would get it up by his hands, and now we're flinching when Will takes it off the mask.
Miller's 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. A fastball with movement to the corner. He's an out away from qualifying for a win.
I love the tailing action we're now seeing in the last couple innings with his fastball. The first few innings it was straight and they were trying to make it ride, but now a little bit off center on the ball a little bit, or maybe a little lean in the delivery, creating some action.
Roxon fires 1-2. High fastball hit foul. Another 1-2. Another foul.
I'm noticing something with Bobby's delivery that I'm liking, that Sandy Koufax taught me. And he taught me to, right at the end, right before release, get your head out of the way so your shoulder can get through easier. And it kind of puts some movement on the ball. You're not falling off towards first base, which is not a good mechanic because you end up being high arm side, but you're just taking your head slightly out of the way near release to let your shoulder kind of roll through.
Got him! Bobby Miller, 5 innings against the Braves in his big league debut, finishing things off with a strikeout of the All-Star Matt Olson. Inside the Box Score brought to you by Lexus. Bobby Miller, 5 innings. He gives up 1 run in the first inning, nothing over the next 4. 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk in his major league debut.
There was nothing wrong with tonight with Bobby Miller. He did the job. He answered the bell and he performed.
Jason Hayward takes strike 1 from Spencer Strider. Now they've said that Gavin Stone is going to get at least a few more starts in the major leagues. Wouldn't commit to Bobby Miller getting any more than this one. They don't have to commit to that prior to him actually going out there, but he just made quite a case to stick around as long as there's a spot. Hayward, who homered earlier tonight, pokes this one foul. It was on the first pitch that he saw back in the 2nd inning.
Strength against strength, and he won the battle. The elevated fastball that he turned around.
1-2. Mom and Dad are making a whole section full of friends. They can do that now because the pressure's off.
It's like at a wedding where the parents that hosted it are going around to every table and thanking all the family for coming.
Hooked into right. Acuna, long way to go. Not going to get there. Jason Hayward's been on all 3 times. Homer walk single for the former Brave.
It is amazing after a home run, the next time up the guy walks, and Jason had discipline there, but Strider gets back in the strike zone and he makes him pay again. A little farther out in front than the home run because that was a changeup, but he had enough swing left to hit it.
Pointed out there to Acuna and said respect. And Acuna cutting that one off, holding him to a single. It's a ball on Peralta.
No, he was saying thanks for pulling up and getting me a hit.
Oh, okay. Lack of respect. Thank you. Ball and a strike on Peralta. 0 for 2 as he tries to extend his on-base streak to a dozen.
Good to see him back in there after making that attempt in left field where he got up a little gimpy.
Game 50 for the Dodgers tonight. Trying to get to 31-19. 2-1 on Peralta.
They would lap the Braves as far as winning percentage and be the best team in the National League. They were the first team to 30 wins, but still had an extra loss.
Arizona's got a 4-3 lead on Philadelphia in the 8th inning in Philly.
What is going on in Arizona?
They're good, man.
Yeah.
This would put them at 29-20, which would be a half game back. And there's a long way to go in this one, but of the Braves, if this score were to hold.
If it ended now, they'd be in the playoffs.
3rd best record in the NL. Strikeout of Peralta. 8 for Strider. Beg your pardon, 9 for Strider. And here comes Outman. Colin McHugh begins to warm. How about this score down in St. Pete? Blue Jays 17, Rays 1.
With the Rays hit, it's not over yet.
They're getting out hit 24-5.
Well, that's not normal, yeah.
It's in the 9th inning. It's not over yet, but they need a 16-run 9th to keep their hopes alive.
All right.
All right, it's over.
It's over.
Taj Bradley started that game, gave up 4 runs over 4 innings.
Over the course of time, since Andrew Friedman has been in charge here at the Dodgers, a lot of times we bring in talent for the front office and we also have talent leave. I wouldn't be surprised with the way Tampa Bay has been so consistent that they start losing some talent out of their front office as people say, what is going on over there? How do they do it with that budget? What are they teaching? What are they analyzing?
Chaim Bloom went to run the Red Sox. James Click went to run the Astros. Swing and a miss. And Outman strikes out for the 3rd time tonight.
Well located, elevated fastball. Thrown from a low release point and a very extreme extension, getting closer to the hitter, which gives them less time to determine where the ball is going to be.
2 gone in the 6th inning. And Rojas fouls back the first pitch. Hey, so it's not as bad as it seems. That, I mean, it's bad, but the last 7 runs were allowed by former Dodger Luke Raley, who was pitching the last 1 2/3 of that game.
Yeah, he doesn't have an electric fastball.
No. 1-1.
We should remind Dodger fans that Luke is not a pitcher.
Correct. He is a hitter, and he's having quite a year. He's got 9 home runs for Tampa Bay. OPS around 900. Who doesn't for the Rays? Rojas swings and misses. 1-2. Spencer Strider's given up 4 runs, but he's got 10 Ks.
The league is probably sending somebody to Tampa Bay to make sure they don't have any trash cans.
1-2 pitch. Got him with a breaking pitch. Finish off the Dodgers in the 6th inning. They lead 4-1.
Join us at Dodger Stadium June 2nd to the 4th as the Dodgers take on the New York Yankees. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
5 strikeouts for Bobby Miller in this game. Over 5 innings, just 1 run allowed. 5 more, and everybody's going to get a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. His big league debut is complete. He's in position to win this game as he turns it over to the bullpen. And Yency Almonte pitched a scoreless 7th inning last night and misses with his first pitch to Sean Murphy.
Braves for 1 for 11 against non-fastballs with Bobby Miller. It's a good sign for Yency with his great slider.
We've got these 2 games, Earl, tonight and tomorrow, and then the off day Thursday. And so you can anticipate that just about everybody in the bullpen is going to pitch 1 of the 2 days. Strike, and it's 2-1. Two and 2 on Murphy. Bullpen last night, 5 pitchers, just 1 run after they struggled in St. Louis. Gave the Dodgers a chance to come back in that game from down 4-0 to win 8-6. Murphy, who's 1 out of 2. Tries to lay off, but he went around, and he's 1 for 3 as he strikes out to open the 6th.
Fastball before this started in this window and went the opposite direction, so this one gets him to bite, going right to left.
And so Almonte's retired all 4 hitters that he's faced in this game. He's retired the last 7 hitters that he's faced back to his last game in St. Louis. 1 gone, Riley. Ball 1. Ball 2.
Two pretty easy takes to get to this count. Get something looking like a strike or throw a strike. Put the 3-0 count on a silver platter right there.
And they're 3-1.
Where you beat yourself up as a pitcher. You go, why didn't I just throw that pitch the first pitch? Why did I wait to fall behind 3-0 to throw that?
3-2.
Same thing there. Why didn't I throw that as my first slider and save that devilish one for when I get ahead? Not a bad timeout. Got a pitcher who just found his rhythm and filled the strike zone, and let's make him wait.
Riley's driven in the lone Braves run with a double back in the first inning. Was ahead 3-0 here, now 3-2, and down on strikes. Almonte battles back to strike him out.
He found it, and he found it in the nick of time. 3 balls, all the way back to 3 strikes.
Back-to-back Ks for Almonte. Yeah, the base is empty for Eddie Rosario. Low with the fastball. Strike, 1-1.
If he'd have thrown 3 balls in a row, I was going to say he's setting them up now.
pulled down the line. Foul. And he's ahead 1-2.
Where that foul ball went and where the pitch and the location and speed were, fastball low and away, should be a ground out to second. Oh, they tried change up away. Same type of anticipation, just a little more speed off to get him out in front and get it down and roll over.
A 2-2. Rosario fouls off. We'll do it again.
Rosario's approach looks like he could be a swing and miss guy, but boy, with all the activity he has as he goes to swing, he's pretty good eye-hand coordination.
Gets bat on it again. It's one of the reasons they liked him when they acquired him in that 2021 season at the deadline from Minnesota. Very aggressive, but always one of the best at making contact.
Yeah, his approach would fool you if you didn't watch him over a long period of time or look at the stats.
Started to diminish last year, and he couldn't figure out why until he got his eyes checked. He had an eye condition that meant that he needed surgery to fix what had become blurry vision. And so when you look and see the numbers, and they were the worst numbers of his career, he hit around 200. Strikeouts went through the roof. But you can't hit what you can't see, and he couldn't see anything last year until he had that operation. And so he's hoping for a bounce back year this year, and after a slow start is having just that. Making Almonte work with 2 away. Another 2-2 and another foul ball.
Rosario looks frustrated, but it's maddening if you're on the mound. Like, what can I throw him to get him out? At least get him to hit it in fair territory.
Gratterall getting ready. Almonte tries again, and the count is full. Albies is 2 for 2, waits on deck. 9th pitch coming. Almonte fires and strikes out the side. Yency Almonte, back-to-back days against the Braves with 1, 2, 3 innings and all 3 Ks this time around. Bobby Miller hoping for his first big league win. Sees the bullpen get 1 inning closer. Spencer Strider strikes out 11, but he's on the hook here. Even though only 2 of those runs were earned. See some frustration with Strider as he leaves the game for the 7th. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out. Colin McHugh has turned into a relief weapon the last few years. It's in his 2nd season with the Braves. Really caught fire with Tampa Bay in 2021, and over the last 3 seasons, Earl, he's got a .216 ERA. Top of the order for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts takes away. Ball 1. Betts 1 for 2. Doubled in the first, walked in the second, scored after both those times. And ahead here 2-0. McHugh out of Division III Berry College here in Georgia, Mount Berry, Georgia. Drafted by the Mets in the 18th round. Handful of games with the Mets. Handful of games actually with the Colorado Rockies too, if you remember, about a decade ago. Then he goes to Houston, spends 6 seasons there. Walks Betts on 4 pitches to open this 7th. From the Astros to the Rays for that 1 season. Signed with Boston, but opted out of the 2020 year. And it's really from that point forward that he's been a stud in this new role, pitching for his home state team. He's from Lilburn, Georgia, not too far from here. Leadoff man on as the Dodgers look for some insurance, and Freddie Freeman at the plate. 0 for 2. Strike one.
4-pitch guy on the mound, but Freddie's going to see mostly cutter and slider. The other 2 pitches, 4-seam fastball and a curveball, but those are rare.
Fly the other way. Rosario has room. Freeman will have to get another opportunity to have a shot at extending that hitting streak.
He gets the most groans out of the Dodger lineup on a fly ball because they're so used to watching Freddie here in Atlanta and hitting fly balls and having them go over the wall.
After an 0 for 5 game last night, Will Smith 2 for 3. He's knocked in 3 of the Dodgers' 4 runs. Only had 1 hit on the road trip coming into tonight, and then he had 2 hits over the first 2 innings. It's like rough trip, and then you face Spencer Strider, and you figure it out. He's got his 3rd hit of the game. Acuna overran that for a moment, but Betts had already anchored at second. First and second with 1 away.
As Acuna goes to field this, Mookie starts to break down his stride at second base, and that little bobble right there, Mookie was already in decel mode.
Two on, 1 out. Max Muncy watches one curve in there for a strike. Oh, 0-2. Max first came down with that bug 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago. He is still coughing. Still can't shake it. Got Betts at second, Smith at first. And on this 1-2 pitch, Muncy takes ball 2. Check swing foul.
Dodgers have really changed the approach of the Atlanta pitching staff tonight. Strider had to throw more change-ups. This guy's having to throw more curveballs than he normally does.
Muncy rips a line drive to deep right field. Acuna's back, and it drills the wall. Betts hits third and comes home. Here's Arcia's throw to the plate, offline. Max Muncy with a long single to drive home Mookie Betts and make it 5-1 Dodgers as they get their first run since the 2nd inning.
This ball is smoked. Little cutter or slider that Max gets under and gets under just enough, hits it hard to get it off that wall, but with that carom right there that bare hands off the wall, Mookie in a place where he's anticipating, but he can't get too far in case Acuna catches it, and he has to really hustle, and really happy that the throw was a little offline, that final relay throw.
First and third, 1 gone. JD Martinez 0 for 3 after the 4-hit game last night. Strike 1. Now for Muncy, his second hit of the road trip. First one was the home run late, and the first night in St. Louis, but his first one since then. Ball and a strike on Martinez. To the corner, 1-2.
This lineup's got it right where I want in a 1-2 count. Dodgers have 7 hits. 4 of their 7 hits have come with 2 strikes.
League average below 200 with 2 strikes in the count. Smith at third, Muncy at first. Martinez watches it miss. Count evens 2-2. Double-barreled action. Bobby Miller started the game. Shelby Miller getting ready to continue it at some point, perhaps. Brustar's been ready for a bit. Coming inside with the 2-2. Martinez floats it into right center field. Here comes Acuna. He's there. Makes the grab. Smith draws the throw and throws on the brakes for good reason.
Acuna with a great arm, but Dino Ebel assumes nothing. He comes all the way down the line to come into your camera view, you see, to help Will Smith. Give him as much time to stop Will if he sees the throw is on line.
Takes a lot of pride in his job down there, Dino Ebel does. Hayward yet to be retired tonight. Home run, walk, single. Pops this one on the diamond. Olsen at first puts it away. Sends this game to the 7th inning stretch. The Dodgers have a 5-1 lead. Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Heffernan, because you're different. And by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. Back in Atlanta, where the Dodgers are having some good times through 2 games. 8-6 winners last night, 5-1 leaders tonight, as Brusdar Graterol got the final 4 outs of last night's game. Did it on 17 pitches. He comes on to pitch the bottom of the 7th here.
Well, the Dodgers have been in some winning situations the last couple of nights, so some of these pieces that you're used to seeing in save situations, setup situation, hold situations, they're getting back-to-back nights of work. And that's a good thing, but it's a tough thing as the workload on the bullpen has been tough over the time because the starters haven't gone far. Been outstanding that Bobby Miller could give him 5 tonight.
Bobby, 5 innings in his major league debut, gave up just the first inning run, struck out 5, walked only 1, and you hate to say exceeded expectations because he's the top pitching prospect in the organization. But look, the guy had given up 12 runs over 8 innings to open his time in AAA, had 1 good start there, and then came up here and did this on the road against one of the top offenses in baseball. Okay, he exceeded expectations, realistically at least. A strike on Ozzie Albies.
Anything can happen in your first few outings in the big leagues, your debut. Nerves, adrenaline, just out of touch with your whole body, because it's an out-of-body experience almost that you sometimes don't feel your legs the whole first inning. You start to figure it out, but the offense settled him in with some runs. He settled himself down, started to get some swing and misses, and finished very strong. His only 3 up, 3 down inning was his last inning.
Right back to Graterol, who barehands it and whips it over there.
Well, he's a world-class athlete. You might not think it by looking at the body, but you know what? That is a very adept, athletic guy. Unbelievable to watch him with a soccer ball or hacky sack. Great in pitcher's PFP. So in some ways that looks like he's a hot dog and showing off, but in other ways it's like that's just natural ease for him.
But you don't recommend it.
Well, nah.
It was fun though. Strike on Ozuna.
Spring training, yeah. During drills, you know, and you're on your 15th rep of taking comebackers and you're getting a little bored in spring training, yeah. But yeah, this game probably not.
0-2 on Ozuna. He's gotten ahead of both guys 0-2. It's refreshing to see. The Dodgers pitchers have been the worst fielding pitchers in baseball so far this year by some measures. So good to see a sweet play by a Dodger pitcher defensively. Whether it's how you draw it up fundamentally or not.
Mike Scioscia was catching me in a spring training game once, and I got a very routine, about 25-foot high pop-up back to me on a jam shot. And as it was coming down, I decided to catch it behind my back. And I ran off the mound. It was the third out, and Scioscia's like, I was so hoping you'd drop that. He was so mad. I'm like, it's spring training. I was just having some fun.
Ozuna down on strikes, 2 gone in the 7th.
Scioscia was outstanding as a leader behind the plate and then as a manager, because he knew when to kind of kick you and have fun, and he knew when to pat you on the back.
Arcia, ball 1. Two and 0. Will Smith says easy now. Get ahead of the first 2, now falls behind 3-0. There's a strike. Shot to the left side, base hit Arcia. First hit for the Braves since the 4th inning.
A lot of different ways to throw 98 miles an hour. We talked about Spencer Strider out there and that 5'11" body and full extension from a low release point. Well, Brusdar Graterol does it a different way. He kind of just posts up on his legs and then uses a lot of upper body. He's not worried about extension and getting out there. He's not worried about the height of his release point. He's not really getting down and into his legs and driving towards home plate. He's just kind of bracing himself with the legs with a slight stride towards home and then using a great arm.
Trying to get his 7th consecutive scoreless appearance. That ERA is creeping down around 2. Reliever ERAs early in the season they can just be so far out of whack based on 1 or 2 games. It's fouled back by Sam Hilliard, 1 ball 1 strike. He gave up a run in his first game, then a couple scoreless games, and then he gives up 2 runs in his 4th game, and he had a 6.75 ERA, and it's like, oh boy. But he's gotten that down all the way around 2. Swing and a miss. Backfoots that slider. 1-2.
He gets the chase because of the velocity with the fastball. If he throws more of those, he's going to have to get it more on the plate because they'll start to recognize it's going to be a ball. That's better. You'd like to throw the one for a strike first and then that other back foot second. You don't want to train the hitter of this is what I'm going to do, and then on the 2nd or 3rd one throw your worst one.
Straight up. Smith has it located, loses the mask, makes the catch, and Brusdar Graterol's got a scoreless 7th.
The first 40,000 fans on June 13th will receive a special Will Smith bobblehead presented by Security Benefit. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
All right, Kirsten. Dodger fans hoping to watch their team take a series win tonight. After winning 8-6 last night, they lead this game 5-1. This is Michael Tonkin on to pitch for the Braves. And Tonkin made his major league debut with the Minnesota Twins back in 2013. Prior to this season, last pitch in the majors in 2017. He bounced from several different minor league organizations to a few different stops in independent ball. He went to Japan for a little while. He pitched in Mexico. And then resurfaces in the major leagues 6 years later and is off to a good start at the age of 33. Native of Palmdale, California. Pours in a strike on Peralta. Dodgers got 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the seventh. Evan Phillips, top of the order, due up in the 8th for Atlanta.
Last couple of years, Evan Phillips has been kind of like the Blake Trinan role, where he's just going to face the heart of the order, the meat of the order. He's the guy. So yesterday, what, it was a 5th inning?
Yeah.
This time it's going to be the bottom of the 8th, it looks like.
Tapped along first. It stays fair, and Olsen lost the ball. Peralta's on. Funky looking play.
And Olsen went down with 2 hands and looked like he was going to get the tag and have it secure. Goes down, knows he's going to use 2 hands, but as the ball gets contacted with the glove and everything, it rotates and goes right out. Must not have had the bare hand on it. Must have been just in the glove.
And that's the second error of the game on Matt Olson. Outman takes a ball. James trying to snap an 0 for 12. He struck out all 3 times in this one.
And that ball went down the line. I thought it was a fortunate kick for the Braves when it came from the foul line in more towards the grass in the infield.
Yeah, off of the bat it looked like it was headed foul.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it had kind of an odd carom and reversed its direction. Looked like it was going to be a pretty routine out.
Instead, for a guy who came into the game with 2 errors all year, 2 errors tonight.
More comfortable at bat for James Outman than he had before because it's sinker slider on the mound, so not a lot of elevated pitches. More strength against strength.
Outman ahead 3-1. Rojas waits on deck. The 6'7" Michael Tonkin ready for a 3-1 pitch. Here it comes. Outman takes strike, 3-2. Tonkin was born in Glendale, California, and then grew up in Palmdale. Drafted 15 years ago. His 3-2 lifted way up there. Steps onto the outfield grass. Ozzie Albies. One out for Rojas. One of the key plays in this game was that first error on Matt Olson, and that was on a ball that Miguel Rojas hit in the 2nd inning. Pretty routine, just bouncing ball down there that Olson literally kicked into foul ground. After that, Betts walked, Freeman was walked intentionally, and Will Smith hit a 2-run double. So both those runs unearned against Strider. They'll count the same on the scoreboard, though. Ball and a strike on Rojas. 1-2.
Tonkin will elevate that two-seamer every once in a while. He normally tried to sink it down by the knees, but with James Outman, he brought it up, and that last pitch to Miggy was a little elevated.
Albies goes to second and to first, a double play, and a pretty one at that. Albies to Arcia over to first, 4-6-3 to end the 8th. Here is the Nissan calendar as this road trip continues. This series wraps up tomorrow as Tony Gonsolin takes his 1.93 ERA. Up against Bryce Elder of the Braves, 3-0 with a 2.06. So another good pitching matchup between these two squads. And then on to St. Pete to take on the team with the best record in baseball, though, who just got routed 20-1 tonight by the Blue Jays. Last 10 of those runs given up by position players. Alas, Evan Phillips on to pitch, was in the 5th inning yesterday. And was just in what Dave Roberts felt like was going to be the highest leverage spot in that game. Wound up being a good decision. There were 2 runners aboard in a 2-run game. He gave up just 1. And here he is against the top of the order in the 8th.
He's looking for a little sharper stuff here tonight, because when he did get outs, a few of them are hit pretty hard yesterday.
That was only the 2nd time that he's been in the game before the 8th inning. Yesterday, he pitched the 6th inning against Pittsburgh a month ago. But extra aggressive yesterday. No balls and 2 strikes on Acuna. And for a pitching staff that was getting battered around a little bit towards the end of the homestand and in the Cardinals series, they've given up just 3 runs in the 15 innings since the 1st yesterday. Acuna chases a slider for the first out.
This strikeout makes me hungry.
I got something for you.
I smell something good.
You smell Jacks.
Was that the 10th K?
Yep.
Works for me.
If it's free, it's for me.
Oh, yes.
Matt Olson sends the first one in the air to left center field. No big deal for David Peralta. And quickly 2 retired in the 8th. When we finish, John and the guys in the post-game show. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Nomar. Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Recapping Bobby Miller's Major League debut. Dodgers 4 outs away from making him a winner in his first game in the majors.
Coming into this series, it did not look like a good equation for the Dodgers. It looked like calculus. I mean, you got 2 youngsters on the mound starting. You need the starters to start going deeper into the game to protect the bullpen that's getting a heavy, heavy workload. Actually pitching more than the starters over the week prior. But Gavin Stone got it squared away after the 1st inning, and Bobby Miller tonight gives them strong 5 innings. And there's the 2 of them together.
And on the flip side, Oral, you had 3 starters for the Braves who are all their dudes, right? Their pitching staff's banged up too, but it was lined up for them to use the pieces that are still healthy.
And you drop 3 in St. Louis, and you come in here, and then you got to go to Tampa, and you're like, we just need to survive this road trip. Any places we can squeak out a W, but finish this one off, and you got a chance to sweep the Braves. And this W tonight brings the road trip to 500.
Count goes full on Murphy. 5 runs on 7 hits for the Dodgers. A run on 5 hits for the Braves. And 1 hit over the last 4 innings for Atlanta. 3-2. Little low, and Murphy's got a 2-out walk.
This roster and Dodger team has a chance to have a reputation of being very tough, where last year's unbelievable roster was never going to be labeled as a tough team. They're going to be labeled as a professionally, unbelievably ultra talented team, even though they were very tough. But that was never going to be the narrative around a 111 win team. But this team, with what they've gone through and where they started, the injuries that they've had to go through so far, and the way they're performing, yeah, you can start using the word tough.
It's a wild pitch. Murphy into scoring position.
Will Smith will tell you that probably should have got a lot more leather on this one right here. He gets enough leather to deflect it, but get the glove a little lower and a little wider, and you might get that one to stay in there.
1-2 on Riley. Put the Braves on the board in the first inning with a 2-out double to score Sean Murphy. All the way from first base. That is it, though, for Brian Snitker's club. Murphy in scoring position, 2 gone. A 1-2 pitch. Good take there. Count evens 2-2. Phillips deals. Full count.
We see it with Max Muncy. We see it with Freddie Freeman. We see it with Mookie Betts. The guys that have disciplined strike zone. One really good take keeps you up there and puts you in a better place to maybe find a mistake. Evan Phillips trying to make a good pitch.
Set and 3-2. On a line to left at Peralta. Scoreless 8th inning for Evan Phillips. One in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the 7th for the Dodgers as they attempt to win this series and go to 18-6 over the last almost month. Joe, Orel, and Kirsten back in Atlanta for the 9th inning. Top of the order for LA, trying to add on a little bit more. It's been another good night for Mookie Betts, who's reached 3 times and scored all 3 times. And he takes strike 1 from Tonkin. Mookie's OPS in the month of May is very close to 1,000. And his average overall sits a little above 250. And he says even though that OPS is way up there, he still is wired to look at the batting average and say, man, I got to be better. This is a guy in his career who's a 290 hitter. MVP season, he hit 346 and won the American League batting title in 2018. And he says, look, I know that things are governed by OPS now, and it's good that I got around 1,000 lately, but I want more on the average. Riley gets him here. One away in the 9th inning. Caleb Ferguson getting ready for the last of the 9th inning. Braves have the middle part of the order coming up, 5, 6, and 7. One more chance for Freddie Freeman to extend his 12-game hitting streak. The interesting thing for Mookie is that it's not like he's chasing homers or chasing the slug numbers at the expense of the average. Just kind of the way those numbers are shaken out these days.
If he goes 1 for 4 and the 1 is an extra base hit or a home run, he still has 3 disappointing at bats, and that can kind of weigh on you because he doesn't consider himself, you know, that slugger that's kind of an all or nothing. He's an all around hitter with power. Kind of like the guy standing at the plate.
Two and two. Mookie obviously made that swing change going into the 2018 season to hit for more power, and says that he just feels like he's kind of become like a more and more 2018 version of himself, where there is more of that power and he's still getting on base, just not racking up the hits at the level that he would prefer. But he also says heck, as long as we're winning games, which they have been, that's when he's most happy. Freeman fouls it off, stays alive.
He's a victim of his own elite ability at no matter what he does or how he's trying to do it. He is exceptional. Whether it's move into shortstop, second base, play right field as a Gold Glover, hit for power, hit for average, run the bases with speed.
Base hit right field, hitting streak 13 games, Freddie Freeman. Buzzer beating ninth inning single to extend it here.
Freddie joins the hit parade, which has brought the Dodgers another 5+ runs, and when they score 5 or more, they are 24-6, and they're looking to post that kind of W.
Outside corner for a strike on Smith. 3 hits today. Had 1 hit on the trip coming into today. Fly to left center field. Hilliard on the move gets there. Back to first goes Freeman. And here's Muncy. Shelby Miller, by the way, has rejoined Caleb Ferguson in that bullpen warming up. Muncy knocked in a run his last time. Takes ball 2. And now Shelby Miller looks a lot like Victor Gonzalez. Where's your hat, Victor?
He might just be getting some exercise. Well, they're putting the pitch com in it right now.
4-pitch walk.
Why would 2 lefties be up? Because they're probably thinking about if the scoreboard changes, it'll be one guy. If the scoreboard doesn't change, it'll be the other guy.
It's interesting, though, because they're fairly equal in terms of leverage at this point. Ferguson maybe a little longer track record. Two on, 2 out. JD Martinez, after 4 hits yesterday, is 0 for 4 today and swings to the first one from Tonkin. Driven to left center field, way up there, way back there, and the 3rd home run of the series for JD Martinez. It's a 9th inning 3-run job that cracks this one open.
He really gets all of this one. We've seen him hit one to right center, which told you he was locked in. That was his 2nd one yesterday. This one to the pull side, which was like his first one yesterday. He's been hitting a lot of extra base hits, but wow, he's getting multi-hit games.
5th home run in his 11 games since coming off of the injured list. 5 homers, 15 knocked in those 11 games. Hayward, 1-1. 8 runs in both games for the Dodgers.
Dodgers saw the Cardinals explode late, stretch some leads when they were there. They're doing it to the Braves here in Atlanta.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Hayward smashes one in the air, right center field, but Acuna's got room. And that'll send this game to the bottom of the 9th. But the Dodgers take it from a decent-sized lead to a big lead and a big home run from J.D. Martinez. It's 8-1 to the bottom of the 9th. Finishes it off with his 5th strikeout of an all-star in Matt Olson. And the Dodgers now 3 outs away from making Miller the winner in his debut.
Came into the game with an electric fastball as the headline, but he in the game used some very nice off-speed pitches with the slider and the changeup.
First game for Victor since Saturday when he gave up the game-winning home run to Nolan Gorman. Those are the first runs that he's allowed this year in his 11 games. And an old friend going to come up to pinch hit here. Kevin Pillar, who last season signed a minor league contract with the Dodgers, came up, played in 4 games before fracturing his shoulder, missing a lot of the year. Signed a minor league deal, made the team out of spring training, and has had a bigger and bigger role, putting up good numbers. 5 home runs in 27 games. Strike 1 on a sweeper that swung on and missed. So Pillar's pinch hitting for Rosario, leading off this 9th inning in front of Albies and Ozuna. It was a dream come true last year for Pillar. Out of West Hills, California. Grew up going to Dodger games. Jam shot, right center. Betts is out. Hayward's on. Hayward, diving play. For the first out of the 9th.
It looks like when it touches leather, he stops it and then kind of re-grabs it. And he doesn't want to collide with Mookie Betts. Yeah, kind of rattles around the fingers and finally finds its way to the web. Victor likes it. Wants to get back on a roll away from that last outing. I think that's why they put him out here in this stretched lead.
Ozzie Albies, first time he gets a chance to face a left-hander in this series. He's the #1 hitter in baseball so far this year against lefties at .448. 2 hits against Miller. Jump rope. Two and one. Went around, count goes full. Chopper to Muncy. Low throw, and Freeman with a heck of a pick. Man, that's pretty.
A salute from Max Muncy for helping him out. This is challenging and turns into a redeemer. And Freddie makes an error the rest of this series. He can remember this one and say, but I got that one.
Wow.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Anticipation. I don't know if you see the ball in the glove on those is just as much as you just experience and anticipation where it's going to end up.
Ball on Ozuna with 2 gone here in the 9th. That's those millions of little balls he takes from Dino Ebel hours before the game, like he did for years here in Atlanta with Ron Washington.
Ron is one of the best infield instructors really in the ballpark tonight. With Dino Ebel, we've got 2 of the best infielders instructors in baseball.
One-two to Ozuna, outside 2-2. Again, the series wraps up tomorrow. Tony Gonsolin goes for the Dodgers. He's off to a great start. And Bryce Elder doing well for the Braves. That'll do it. Dodgers 8, Braves 1. Bobby Miller, the winning pitcher in his big league debut.
Congratulations to Bobby. He helped an offense that is firing on all cylinders, feeling good about themselves, a bullpen that has turned it around in this series, and now the Dodgers have their hottest starter going tomorrow by the 2 kids, and here we go with Tony.
Yeah, they win the 2 games with the 2 kids. Yeah, now I got the Catman going, looking for a sweep over the Braves. For Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Atlanta. The Dodgers 8, the Braves 1. The series wraps up tomorrow as the road trip continues on to Tampa Bay. We'll have first pitch 7:20 here in Atlanta, 4:20 back in Los Angeles. Talk to you tomorrow night.